Welcome friends to another 40k video. Why did the Lion L. Johnson not return sooner with his loyal sons the Dark Angels to help the Emperor during the Great Crusade? Part of it was he was dealing with his own enemies. Who were they? Was the Lion and the Dark Angels able to stop them? Friends, let's find out. And of course, this story and the details in it are taken from the book Lion L. Johnson, Lord of the First by David Geimer. Muspel is the name of the planet. The Dark Angels are here. One Aravane attended a cenobium, the inner circle of the Order's most august and learned knights. They discussed the threat. They were founded 160 years ago. The Order, not the Dark Angels themselves. They have all sworn oaths to the Order. They have come together to fight the Crave, a warp parasite. One victim's mind has been psychically eaten, and they must make sure it gains no further foothold. One angel says, the Crave are psychic xenoforms of tremendous power. They've been waiting for the angels. The lion chimes in and says he sees a predator that grows hungry and impatient for its feast. Once it becomes clear that we intend to stay in force, then it will have to strike. Duriel is given a seal and is told to unlock the Dread Ring protocols. They are a group within the Dark Angels. Even the Master of the Wing says he does not know what's inside. He opens it and sees that the Armorium of the Ordo of Santalas. Back to Old Night on Earth, not since that dark hour had, as the book tells it, mankind's mastery of the killing sciences been explored in such intimate minutiae. The weapons here are unique and not made as sequences like STCs are. A singular terror, for example, is glass-walled grenades that carried torpid, warp-born mindworms inside, weapons that attacked and destroyed someone's mind, body, and their actual soul. Aravane picks a massive-barreled heavy bolter made for the men of iron to use. Perhaps he says this will put the fear of God into them. On a Dark Angel-controlled ship, Savine Grill and others walked, warping the minds of those in the ship, causing, as the book tells us, through the tendrilous organo-psychic neural architecture that bound the Crave into a single consciousness. Half in and half out of the warp, Savine was simultaneously aware of the same occurring on every other vessel of the Dark Angel's fleet. Aravane could feel the Crave presence as he fired at infected crewmen. The book says, sprays of explosive psychoactive rounds incinerated the tightly packed mortals, body and soul, each individual screaming into a pyre that burned across 2 realms. The Dark Angel heard a shriek and recalled the Crave had long-limbed bodies in a carapace, their heads a featureless ovoid like a black egg, lacking a mouth, nose or ears. He fights Savine, and she plays with his mind. He sees the Crave feed off division and mental weakness and desires. He did not have those weaknesses. And then, as the fight continues, the Lion L. Johnson arrives, Primarch of the Dark Angels. He meets Savine and draws the lion's sword. He says, "Did you believe you could hide? I am the Angel of Darkness." At one point, Savine disappears herself and drops on him from above, saying, "Now who is the better hunter?" And then she enters his mind. But there he quickly turns things around, and in his own mindscape lifts her by the throat. "You have dived willingly into a Primarch's mind, and for that hubris alone you deserve this failure." And he also sees in her mind the Crave's home world. Back in the real world, when he returns to it, she is dead at his hand. We discover the Crave's attempt to hurt the Dark Angel's fleet has failed. There is a meeting and the line says, in the Santalas Armorium, more weapons are to be released for the Dread Ring, and there they will meet the Crave and show that the Dark Angel's duty is done, though others may judge them. They show up, do the Crave, teleporting in using the warp with high accuracy. At the Lion's order, long-band weapons he had once condemned when amongst his Primarch brothers, such as Radbombs and Virion destroyers, are released. After his forces reach the ground around them, nerve induction shredders drop to men like marionettes, purging the brains of their electrical activity with vehemence enough to shatter and imperial reflection. Nothing could block them. The Lion orders they must kill something bigger to stress the Crave's psychic web. Jugane and the Deathwing target a Psi Titan to do this. The Lion and some of the Deathwing teleport in, as Al Johnson puts it, to the Crave ship to face the first of them, the end of worlds. The Crave appear soon after, falling from ceiling and moving through walls, and the Deathwing answered with fire and flame, and always the Lion pushed on. And he then sees the Crave King, an abomination that had risen to kingship over abominations. Its enlarged cranium was fringed with back-swept horns, a crown of trigonometric shapes and unknowable glyphs sat a centimetre above its sunken brow on a crackling cushion of psychic repulsions. And man, that last bit was really fun to say. The Crave enters the Primarch's mind, but he forced its psychic tendrils back. Kill this being and the rest would fall. The Centaurs face the Crave Titan, and their witch-defying firepower brought it into the Materium, and the tanks and wall guns chipped away at it, but it still advanced. The Lion and the Crave King fight witchblade to lion sword, whilst Al Johnson also takes out many other Crave. Two in his arms. The King says it will take his mind, but one arm holder is killed afterwards. Then the Lion kills the other and sees the silica animus bastard offspring of the Men of Iron has been brought into the fight in the service of the Emperor. This secret use of AI was a secret from the other Primarchers and from Mars itself. The Emperor, high-ranking Dark Angels, and the Lion Al Johnson did know. The Crave cannot penetrate the AI's minds, so they're not organic. The machines fired. Stenius controlled them on a kill switch to stop them hurting the Dark Angels as well. That's how dangerous they are when they are unleashed. Meanwhile, against the Psi Titan, the Dark Angel Duriel, using Centaur's Dark Age technology, had created a link between two warhounds. They were both damaged and couldn't fight, but he drew on the war machine's reactors. Dreadwing fighters attacked the Titan with fire, which the Crave hate, and the Titan loomed over Duriel, who smiled and says, "We hold this ground for the Lion," and hit the detonator. So atomic fire hit out and finished off the Crave's Titan, and its death hit the Crave collective psyche. The psychic feedback overwhelmed the Crave Lord's body, and now we will turn this over to the Lion and the book. It is possible, he says, that the Imperium of my father will one day falter, as you insist it must, said the Lion. Breathing hard from his exertions, he reversed his sword to wield it point down over the spasming body of the Crave. The quillions raised to his eyes. As I still draw breath, it shall not, and you shall never know. Lionel Johnson drove his sword through the creature's skull, because you sought to pit your strength against the valour of the Dark Angels. And on that triumphant note, I turn things over to you, friends. What do you think to the Lionel Johnson and the Dark Angels using such banned weapons? Did you think the Crave were a worthy foe to delay them? Have you unleashed a nuclear blast against the Psi Titan? Yes, me too. Comment down below.